I was right. I just checked my phone. I basically recorded like 13 minutes of 4K 30 footage, and my phone is cool. Like I was just probably on Instagram or something. I think iOS 27 probably has better thermals than iOS 26. Beta 1. Developer Beta 1. iOS and macOS 27 have been out for about almost 3 days. My phone was on 1% battery early in the morning. I was on Wi-Fi watching Linus Tech Tip talk about Linux and how good Linux is and how crappy Windows 11 is. Now, I was able to get a similar amount of battery and performance as I get on iOS 26 on iOS 27, which is basically impossible for a beta. That's a beta 1. To be more specific, my phone was performing very smoothly on 1% battery, just like how it would do on a stable version of iOS. I was even able to enter this app called Prequel, apply a very heavy filter to a video, and render the video in 1080p. It even completed, and I had time to even enter YouTube to do something else before the phone finally died. Yeah, basically I was able to get up to like 15 minutes of regular use and like, will I say 5 to 10 minutes of heavy use on 1% battery. The thermals on a 14 Pro, which should be bad on this kind of beta, this nature of developer beta 1, they are excellent. They are exactly or even slightly better than what we have on iOS 26. I'm telling you this thing as someone that lives in a very horrible environment, so it's bad weather most of the time. Apple is definitely doing something right with iOS 27. I have to just admit it. And plenty of people also share this take with me online. The UI speed is also perfect. 120 Hz is 120 Hz. It's not choppy. Yes, there are 1 or 2 lags, but considering the fact that we are on developer beta 1, those are probably negligible at this point. I'm saying this as someone again that has used iOS 15 beta, 16 beta, 17 beta, 18 beta, 26 beta. Remember how it was when they just introduced liquid glass? It was hell that day or that week. I actually got to enable the fully transparent liquid glass in settings on both my iPhone and the Mac, and I am still enjoying my experience. Yeah, so finally I am happy that I have something that looks like beta 1 of iOS 26 when they first introduced liquid glass. Also, it's very evident that Apple has kind of added the kind of 3D feel to the liquid glass. It now looks like a piece of glass on top of something, not just like something with transparent, refractive or reflective borders. For instance, the volume bar, while you adjust the volume, it looks like a piece of slim cylindrical, like vertical cylindrical stuff on the screen. I don't know how Apple did it, yeah, but they defined those borders very well to give it that 3D feel. Same goes with the icons, of course. You saw how Apple talked about it for Apple Maps. Now, for the macOS situation, I tried out iPhone mirroring. Everyone knows that Apple is hinting at the possibility of a foldable very, very soon, with the fact that they have basically started doing responsive designs that basically adjust themselves based on how wide the window of iPhone mirroring is, which perfectly fits the fact that they'll probably release a single iOS kind of release for every iPhone and foldable. Just like the foldables, when they are unfolded, will be able to adjust just like iPhone mirroring does. For now, it's not available on every app, but most of Apple's system apps like Safari, the App Store, the expanded view works on those. Essentially, if this is like happening, it means third-party app developers are going to have it very soon in Xcode, or rather, they probably already have access to that. All they have to do is just optimize their apps to respond to wider screens. There is one bug to the iPhone mirroring. When you try to drag any icon on the home screen, it's going to crash your iPhone and reboot, or is it respring the system UI? Not like entirely reboots, it's just kind of like reload the system UI, something like that. Alright, you can see how blown out the ISO is. Normally I set it to ISO 100. Okay, it's 100 now. Now when I minimize the app and open it back, it goes back to this crazy whitish stuff I don't understand. And then the value is still 100, so I have to basically take it back and then it's back to normal. I don't like this, but I have to deal with it. Everyone loves that feature on Clipboard when you get an OTP and it pops up above your keyboard. Now basically anytime you copy anything at all on your clipboard, it shows when you enter any field that allows you to paste. Yeah, I noticed this, and people are seeing it as something that's going to be like one of the next killer features of iOS 27. AirDrop speed. Apple claimed it was up to 80% faster, and I have seen evidence of it personally yesterday at the office while I was daily driving macOS 27. By the way, video coming soon for my reports about the battery life on that. I sent a movie from my iPhone to the Mac, and it took a very short time, like relatively short. One thing you notice about AirDrop now between 227 devices is that it kind of initiates and is at full throttle instantly. It's not like back then that it would initiate and then it will no, it kind of like accelerates straight to 100. It moves fast all the way. I mean, these guys on Twitter tested it out and it's very evident. It is very definitive. And I'm kind of angry at Apple because they could have saved us this stress all this time. Why now? On the Mac situation, third-party apps, not all are optimized. So do not upgrade your main partition where you do your productivity work. That's if you use many of these apps like Bartender, Adobe Creative Cloud, and the rest. Even Mac Mouse Fix. Some parts of Mac Mouse Fix are not optimized properly. Yeah, do not upgrade your main partition. Do like me. Just get something like this, an external SSD, USB 3.2 Gen 2. I installed it here. It was very quick, as fast as it would be on the regular Mac SSD. This is some top tier level of stuff. There is one honorable mention, and that's the last but not the least. You remember when you connect to a Wi-Fi network that has bad internet or no internet, there'll be one annoying pop-up on your iPhone like, there is no internet connection with this network. Do you want to switch to mobile data or keep using Wi-Fi? You know what I'm talking about. Finally, that thing does not interrupt you anymore. It just slides down the notification area and tells you in a very uninterruptive way, and then you get to choose what you want to do. Yeah, this is something that Apple should have done since. It's very, very similar to when they introduced Dynamic Island on the 14 Pro, and then that low battery pop-up went into it. People's lives were positively impacted by just that, and this one is like the same thing. For people like us that sometimes run into bad networks, I know some of you cannot relate to this. You have 6G or 7G. So these are 10 facts about iOS and macOS that I have seen from actual use and not BS noise making crap online. Yeah, subscribe to my channel for more stuff like this, coming from the desk of the average user that cannot use the latest Apple devices yet. You know, they still have such a long time to optimize something that's already this good. Think about it, they have till September. Imagine, and the first beta is this good. So imagine what's going to be like the final release.